Hey y'all, it's been a while. It's been a while since I made a video, and it's been a while since Infusible Ink was released by Cricut. So this tutorial is well overdue. Let's make this Give Yourself Some Grace shirt with the free SVG on my blog, along with 2 transfer sheets from Cricut, the Party Pink and the Mermaid Scales, and also an Infusible Ink Blank by Cricut. So first we're going to go into Design Space and we're going to upload our image. Browse, and I'm going to go, when you download it, it actually downloads as a zip file. You can't upload a zip file. So what you need to do is go to wherever your downloaded file is, and what you can do is double click and drag the file and drop it to where you like it to go on your computer, or you can actually extract it. So you see I kind of just drag it over to a folder there, but I'm going to go back to the zip file, right click, extract all, browse, put it where I want to, select it, and it's going to unzip into that folder. So once it unzips where you place it, go back into Design Space, browse again, and then you can upload the image. So there's the SVG. You can name it what you like right in this panel and save it. So now that it's there, I'm going to click it and I'm going to insert images. It's going to come in with some few pieces. So first, what I want to do is ungroup it, because I just want to weld these 2 groups together. So then that way I don't have all these little pieces that I have to move around. So now I only have 2 layers. You see, boom, boom, easy breezy. Now it's a lot easier to work with. So since they're together, again, separated, you can see it there. Since once they're together, I just select them both, and I'm going to scale it to the size that I want, 11.5. That's a little big for shirts, but my intention was to do this as a pillow, and then I changed my mind. So you see me just kind of zooming in, zooming out. Select the machine that you want. I'm using my Cricut Maker. You can use the Explorer and the Joy and the Maker with Infusible ink. You just need to get the Joy compatible Infusible ink if you're using the Joy. So it's telling me that my image is too large for a 12 by 12. I know. I'm going to go ahead and mirror both mats because it's separated by color. You'll want to mirror your Infusible ink, and then go ahead and hit continue. And the reason why you want to mirror it is because you're going to cut it with the actual transfer color face up. In the image, when you go to press it, you're going to press with the transfer color down. So I'm going to go ahead and select my machine. And it's thinking. So I'm on Bluetooth. If you're on USB or Bluetooth, whatever one you prefer, it's going to show in the drop down. Select Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet. I like to hit more pressure because it helps me to weed it better and kind of separate it from the transfer sheet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to cut it. So I just placed the transfer sheet on my mat. I'm cutting it with my Cricut Maker. I already pressed the green button. If you need to know how to cut something on the Cricut, that's a different video. And you just see it's cutting. All right, so now that it's done cutting, we're going to go ahead and actually start the process of removing the infusible ink from the back of the transfer sheet. You saw me get some tape there, just to tape it down to the table because it's moving a lot. But I just kind of bend it around, move it around. It's a little thick like paper, so you kind of peel it back. If you have any of the white part left on there, that's okay, because as long as there's no color, it's not going to transfer. So I just weed it out, and this one I'm actually leaving the letters and everything and taking out the middles, and you see that. There we go. Everything's coming out very nicely. And again, that's why I like to use more pressure when I take it out. Make sure that you don't have any oils or anything on your hand, because that will bleed over, and make sure it's nothing wet on the table because the ink will run. So my tape method wasn't really working that great, but that's all right. Got the job done. So I'm going to go ahead, and this one is just like the outline, kind of like a shadow. So this one has a lot less pieces. And if you want to save your infusible ink, you can always cut around everything and keep the scraps. I know a lot of crafters like to keep scraps and stuff and not, waste not want not in the craft room. You also don't necessarily need a weeding tool. I like to use a weeding tool, but mine is very dull, so it won't scratch the infusible ink. If you use a sharp point, it will scratch your infusible ink, and that's not what you want at all. So just taking it all off. It's coming off pretty nicely. And again, guys, that's why I really like the more pressure setting. But you also saw that I used the light grip mat, so that can make a difference too. So just be mindful of what mat you're using and the pressure you're giving. So now that I have both of these together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece them together because I don't want to press it twice. And with infusible ink, you can layer it, but it's just going to be a lot simpler for me to take off the mermaid scales off their transfer sheet and put it onto the same sheet as the outline. So that's what you see me doing here. Just kind of making my way with that. Awesome. So that's done. So I'm using a Cricut Infusible Ink t-shirt, the large V-neck. I like these a lot. They fit great. And I'm also using my Easy Press. If you want to know what temp and time to use, please go to the Cricut Heat Guide. I'll link it in the comments. So I'm going to bring out my Cricut Ruler by Tam just so I can measure everything up. This is a great ruler, especially for newbies who need to learn how to have proper placement, alignment on their shirts. And you see me just kind of measuring it out. Looking here, I know I want this to be centered because it's not right now. So you'll see me go back and kind of fidget with it and just making sure I have proper placement so that when I align my infusible ink about 2 inches down from the V, it's centered and it's actually with the perfect placement. I made this actually about closer to the top of the chest just because I did such a big image. But please do reference the guidelines from Tam as far as proper usage and alignment when you're ready to use yours, because everything is going to differ a little bit, especially depending on what size you make your image. So most times I make my shirts about 10 inches, but this time I made 11.5 again because I was thinking I was doing a pillow and not a shirt. So once I have everything aligned, I grab my Easy Press and it's already set to the time and temp. I hit that green button and I just kind of give a little bit of pressure. Not much. You really don't need to add the pressure. It's already there. I have underneath it the pressing pillow. If you like, you can put inside the shirt the shirt paper or the parchment. I didn't just because I didn't have any on hand. I waited out and I also, you can see on the side a little bit is left hanging. So I moved over the heat press once these 40 seconds were done just to cover the full image because I'm using my 12 by 10, the Big Daddy Easy Press. Once everything is pressed, I'm going to actually peel back the transfer. You see that the Easy Press is now on the other side. Kind of taking a sneak peek. I was a little anxious just to see because when you use infusible ink, are the colors that are in your face before they're pressed, that's the best way to explain it. The colors out of the box, they're not as bright as once the heat hits it and activates it. So you see me eager to see the design. Oh, it's so bright. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's really a fun project. Infusible ink is really, really neat. It's Cricut's answer is sublimation. It's very fun to do these personal projects, this home stuff. When you have a unique idea and you want something permanent. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Another thing is to lint roll your shirt because I did not, and there was a lot of lint on it. So look, beautiful, beautiful. Am I too old to wear mermaid scales? I don't know, but I'm gonna rock it. It's in there. It's permanent. It's bright. It's beautiful. It's me. It's you. It's all of us. So rock your infusible ink, y'all. Have a good time with it, and I hope this tutorial helped you. Thank you so much for watching. Give yourself some grace. Don't forget.